Hi, everyone. I'm Joel Engardio. Today's conversation is with Sonny and Ava, their father and daughter. Ava is 16, and whether you are a parent or a teenager, you know that this is a challenging age, even under normal circumstances. In a pandemic, when families have to shelter in place for weeks and homeschool for months, how does anyone survive? We're going to talk to Ava and Sonny, see how they're handling it, and if they have any tips for other families. Welcome, Sonny and Ava.
Hello.
Great to see you.
Good to
Like
see
you're surviving pretty well. You look good.
Thank you.
you. We're doing really well. We are.
That's great. Well, before we get into the challenges, and I know people do want to hear about that because that's what everyone can relate to, I bet there must be some blessings in this situation. If there are, what are they?
Yeah.
Sure. So I think the big blessing has been all the time together. Given our schedules between school, work, etc., we hardly ever have this luxury of a whole lot of time together. And so we've turned that into a huge positive and have just been spending a lot of time hanging out, talking. Ava's being particularly creative and keeping herself real busy. So all the family time together has been exceptional and just awesome.
Great. How about you, Ava? Any blessings you can count yet?
Definitely the same as him. I've taken up like baking and cooking, so that's pretty fun. Yeah, I have a lot more time to be creative, and so I get to be doing like a bunch of different projects and just new things that I'm trying out. So that's pretty cool.
I heard you made your first, was it cinnamon rolls? You made your
Yes.
first ever attempt?
Cinnamon rolls. Yeah, I made them. I made them twice because they were really good.
Really good.
So that experiment went well. So as we know, teenagers usually don't spend a lot of time at home. So Ava, what are you missing most now that you're forced to spend time at home all the time? What are you missing the most?
My friends, for sure. I miss seeing them. I miss going to school. I like my school. I go to an art school, so I miss being around like the creative people and the creativeness of that environment. But yeah, mostly my friends and like being able to go outside without wondering if I'm gonna get sick.
Right. So, if you go back in time, you have boomers, Gen X. I think me and Sonny are Gen X. You have millennials. We've all lived a certain teenage experience, but now that experience is being disrupted for Ava's generation. So I'm wondering, Sonny, do you remember your teenage years? Do you empathize with what Ava's going through? Because you didn't have to go through this at that age.
Yeah. I mean, I think, the really basic stuff of, as Ava says, being able to hang out with friends or go to the park and, all of those very normal and routine things that give life structure and give your daily routine a schedule and a construct. All of that is suddenly missing, and you have to make it up as you go along, which is tough, especially for younger folks. But I think the trick of it is, to stay as creative as possible, which Ava is stellar at, so she ups the game on that, and to enjoy the time together rather than looking at it as as some sort of negative or some sort of ordeal to get through, because the pandemic itself is an ordeal in and of itself that's out of our control. So the stuff that you can control, you do it, and you look at it as a positive thing.
And for parents who have lived through their teenage years, do you think that should they have more empathy for their own teenagers as they go through this process? Ava, do you feel like your dad has empathy for what you're going through?
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that they're gonna be more likely to get bored, and once in a while need some some encouragement and so forth. So we've been giving Ava her space and allowing her the time to spend time with friends, even though it's electronically and so forth, and certainly watching a whole lot more TV than under normal circumstances. But that's true of us as well. So so it's all good.
That's great. And all right, this is what everyone's been waiting for. What are the challenges? What are the things that maybe it's universal? Probably everyone's going to nod their heads as they hear this. But any particular challenges that you've had to overcome during this time?
What, getting you to do the dishes? Yeah, we early on when this started, we sort of realized that we're gonna have to figure it out, and so we divvied up the chores for the house and how to take care of the home and the family and the pets and so forth, and so of course, as as with every teenager, it's always an effort to keep that going and keep the momentum going and keep everyone in line. So so that's just the normal teenage stuff. Other than that, we really haven't really come up against many obstacles. Ava's been great in terms of understanding what it is and that you can't break the rules and or be flexible with them. So we've it's overwhelmingly been a positive experience inside the house. What's going on outside, it is what it is, and you gotta endure it. But what's been happening within the house and within the family has all been really, really good.
Has there been anything, Ava? Any comments you want to add to that? Any?
I think that's pretty much it. Just making sure that we have like our own separate things to do. I think outside of that, though, for me, I'm pretty okay because I'm like stable and I'm happy here. But I think a big thing is like staying calm because you just got to stay inside. Like I see and hear people going outside and it's like, please don't do that. Yeah, just staying calm and keeping your head on your shoulders and knowing that, if you stay inside, if you follow the rules, it'll get better. But you actually have to go through it that you can't, like I want to go outside. I want to see my friends. I have seen my friends on Instagram, whatever, hanging out with each other, the 6 feet apart thing. And I want to do that. But I also know that in order to keep this thing from getting worse, I have to stay inside, which is, a challenge, but it's worth it.
Yeah. All this time that you have spent together, what have you learned from each other that you didn't know before? Or so let's start with Ava. Anything you've learned about your dads or just your family in general?
They're very
learned from them, learned about and from.
Well, they're very prepared, which I feel like I saw a lot of people talking about how others are overreacting to this thing, and I'm like kind of starting to realize that there really isn't a way to overreact to this at this point. He went out and bought a bunch of food, and which is now a good thing that we have. So yeah, I mean, I think the preparation, they're both really good at that. They're both good at keeping calm under pressure, which is nice.
That's great. How about you, Sonny? Have you learned anything from Ava during this experience?
So she's actually been keeping really busy in terms of her creative work with her singing and so forth. And so through all of this, we've done probably about maybe 30 plus hours of videoing that will eventually become a video to accompany a song that she recorded that will actually be dedicated to the pandemic. And so I've become the tech support, and I'm the lighting guy. So I've learned that whole process because of Ava.
So you're not going to be a backup singer?
No, that's not going to happen.
That's great.
Yeah.
So any advice that you have for other families that you'd like to leave them with?
I would say understand that you're going to get frustrated. That's inevitable. It's going to happen. Try not to take it out on your families because they're also going through this as well. And though it's different perspectives and it's different point of views, we're all going through the same thing at the same time. So like he said, like if you need space, take the space. And if they need space, let them have it because you're going to be in here for a while. You're going to be in your home for a while. Try to keep it happy and safe and, fun.
Great. Well, I appreciate you both spending time to talk with us today. And really looking forward to the song that Ava is going to produce after all this is done. So we'll make sure that we post that as well. But thank you for joining us today.
Awesome. Thank you. Be well.